Hello students, today we will study polarography. So it is an also electrochemical method like potentiometry. So first of all we will revise what is potentiometry. So if you don't remember anything, so kindly watch the previous lecture. So what is potentiometry and what are the main components which are important in terms of potentiometry? You have to remember in potentiometry we have reference electrode, we have indicator electrode, we have short bridge in between these two electrodes, and we have voltmeter to measure the voltage. So keeping in mind these things, we will move forward toward our next technique, which is polarography. So this technique was discovered in 1922 and the scientist was awarded and received Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1952. This is the picture of the scientist with the instrument polarography. So what he describes: an electrochemical method of analyzing solution that measures the current flowing between the two electrodes. Two electrodes mean one is reference electrode and one is indicator electrode in the solution, as well as the gradually increasing applied voltage to determine respectively the concentration of a solute and its nature, okay, between two electrodes in a solution. But it is a little bit different than potentiometry. I will explain in my next slide what is the difference of these two electrodes in potentiometry and polarography. So from this technique you have to apply some voltage, and then the result is the concentration of solute and its nature. So you can identify a solute and its concentration also. So in simple word, electroactive species are analyzed based on measurement of current electrolysis under controlled condition at a defined electrode potential. The term polarography is applied to the current voltage curve. Okay. So the name indicates polarography. So there is current voltage curve, which is mean graph, when dropping mercury electrode is used as working or indicator electrode. Okay. In this technique we will only use dropping mercury electrode as indicator electrode and mercury pool or saturated columnar electrode as reference electrode. So in this technique you have to use only dropping mercury electrode. You cannot use any other electrode as working or indicator electrode. So there are different types of dropping mercury electrode, but you have to use only mercury as an working electrode, which must be dropping. So from where we will discuss in our next slides. So there are two electrodes, one is polarizable and one is non-polarizable. Mercury dropping from capillary tube known as dropping mercury electrode act as cathode where the reaction take place. Okay. In the whole operators, in the polarography operators, only one electrode is polarizable and the other one, which is mercury pool at the base of the reaction beaker or sometimes saturated columnar electrode, act as anode. There is no reaction taking place at anode. Only mercury drop is the place where reaction will take place because of electric potential. Okay. So you have to keep in mind in polarography we have two electrodes, one is polarizable and one is non-polarizable, and both are mercury. In the one which you use as cathode is actually mercury dropping from capillary, which is known as dropping mercury electrode. So this is the a general diagram of polarography operators. So you have this mercury dropping dropping mercury electrode from where this mercury travels, and we have a drop present here. So this one part is connected with negative charge and it is cathode. So in after the drops came from this reservoir, we have a drop here, okay, and it grows in size, and after some time it will dislodge from this tube into the solution either manually or through a screw or some other technique. Okay, we will discuss in detail in our next slide. So this small drop act as cathode, and this is also known as microelectrode because the lifetime of a drop is the time during which reaction take place, and after that it is dislodged from this a tube, capillary tube. The reaction will stop and there is a new drop and a new reaction will start. And then we have mercury pool at the bottom, which is connected to positive charge, and they and at mercury pool there is no reaction will take place because of the size. You will see that the drop size is very small, that a small potential attracts the ion in the solution, the positive ion, but at the mercury pool, because of in large surface area, they need more electricity or more voltage to get oxidized or reduced. That's why there is there will be no reaction will take place. And we also use nitrogen to remove all the oxygen from the solution, otherwise reduction of oxygen will take place at cathode. So we have to remove the oxygen from the solution. So now we will talk about basic components. First one is the dropping mercury electrode which is this one. Then we have this capillary tube. This one is the dropping mercury electrode, and this drop is known as cathode. And then we have spotting electrolyte. We have spotting electrolyte, like in potentiometry we have inert electrolyte in the salt bridge which complete the circuit. But what is the role of spotting electrolyte? I will discuss in my next slide. And then we have mercury pool, which is the anode. So now we will talk about dropping mercury electrode. In polarography, current is used as working or indicator electrode. One of the advantages of using mercury is its liquid nature. So it is liquid in nature, that's why we are using mercury. The indicator electrode is actually a drop of mercury. Okay, this complete setup is not, you can say, your indicator electrode. The drop at the end of the capillary, a small drop, is actually our indicator electrode. It is also known as microelectrode, and the drop is dislodged either manually or in its own as a result of gravity. This I already told you. It has a lifetime of several seconds. Okay, so you can adjust the lifetime of a drop, and after completion of its time the drop will be replaced by a new drop, so that a new reproducible drop with the same surface area with the same properties will appear from the reservoir. So these are three types of mercury electrode. So first one is the hanging mercury drop electrode. We have screw here, micrometer screw. You can control the movement of mercury from the reservoir to the capillary tube by this screw, and you can also dislodge the drop from the mercury with this electrode by the movement of screw. Now this one is dropping mercury electrode from the reservoir. It moves under the influence of gravity. And then we have static mercury drop electrode. You can control the movement of mercury by the use of these plungers. You have to just push it and then the drop will dislodge. So these are the three main types of dropping mercury electrode. First one is the hanging mercury drop electrode, second one is dropping mercury electrode, and third one is static mercury electrode. So why we are using mercury? It display a wide negative potential range. So there are many matter which can be reduce on mercury surface. Its surface is readily generated by producing a new drop or film. The new drop will have the same properties like previous drop. Okay, so your result will be also reproducible. Many metals can be reversibly reduced into it. There are many metals which can be reduced into it because of large surface area, because of large negative potential. I will give you the values in my next slide. So capillary tube essential for plerography because you have to control the movement of mercury. The capillary is a glass tube with an internal diameter and connected to a mercury reservoir. The size and drop of mercury is according to the bore size of the capillary. It depends upon the size or the bore of the capillary. So, so if the bore size is large, you have a large drop, but if you have a small bore size, the size of capillary is the size of mercury is small. The drop can be adjusted through adjustment of height of the reservoir, which is directly proportional to the time. So a large pool of mercury at the bottom is act as anode. The surface area of anode, which is at the bottom of the apparatus, and a small drop, there is a huge difference. Okay, so to start a reaction at anode you need a large amount of voltage, but if you have apply a little potential, little voltage on cathode, the reaction will start and it will start to attract ions. So now we will talk about migration current due to migration of ion between two electrodes. So if you have a complete circuit and you have some ions in the solution, the ion will start move from a positive to negative and from negative to positive. So this is the normal phenomena. The current obtained due to cation from the bulk of the solution towards the cathode due to diffusive force. So this current is present actually in plerography. When you have a small mercury drop appears at the bore of capillary tube, the positive ion will start to move towards cathode because there is a potential and they are attracted by the drop. This can be removed by addition of spotting electrolyte. So if you have a solution and you have some ion and you want to analyze them, okay, so they start to move towards your cathode, which is mercury drop. This current is known as migration current, but we don't need migration current in our experiment. We only need the current produced by because of diffusion of ions. Okay, so by concentration gradient. So this is also diffusion, but we need when we apply current and due to diffusion because of concentration gradient. Okay, but how we can remove this migration current? We use spotting electrolyte which only move towards cathode, towards mercury microelectrode, and they form a double layer around the mercury electrode because these spotting electrolyte are inert and they did not reduced on the mercury surface. Their potential or their reduction potential is not in the range of mercury. That's why we use spotting electrode to suppress the migration current of our analyte of interest. So we will use 100 times more concentration of spotting electrode, and then they form a double layer which is Hertzsprung double layer of these ions which are spotting electrode, not of our analyte of interest. So now what is obtained from the graph? So you will see a graph on your right side that we will have some residual current, then we have diffusion current. So this one is diffusion current which is shown here, and then we have a limiting current. Now I will try to explain you what is residual current. So when no current is flowing, we will see some change, which is this one. So we see some current is flowing. Okay, what type of current it is? It is because of the impurities, because there are some other ions which are impures, so they start to move toward cathode and also because of the electrolyte, which is our migration current. And when this impurity reach at the cathode, and if their reduction potential is in the range of mercury, they will reduce on the surface of mercury, and then we will see residual current. And also because of the double layer of electrolytes around the cathode, we will see residual current. So this is the sum of reduction or the movement of impurities and the double layer of spotting electrolyte. So this is our residual current, which is shown here. So this is not our actual current. So this current is actually impurities and double layer of our spotting electrolyte, and this is denoted by IR. Now we will talk about average current or limiting current. This one, the current obtained by averaging current values throughout the lifetime of mercury drop hanging on the end of capillary tube. So it is the average current values throughout the lifetime of mercury drop. So the time frame is very important for mercury drop, because we can also identify different currents depending upon the lifetime of mercury drop. Beyond a certain potential, the current reaches a steady value called as limiting current. You will see that after some time the current will become saturated. Okay, what does it mean? That the diffusion of ions which are moving towards cathode due to concentration gradient is equal to reduction potential, because the analyte or the ions of our interest will migrate, when diffused in a term of concentration gradient, we will see sudden increase, and after some time the rate of diffusion is equal to rate of reduction, that one ion will reach on the surface of cathode and it will reduce. One ion reach to the surface of the cathode, it will reduce. So it is one by one. Okay, before it there are a sudden increase in, you can say, in current, because all the ions move towards cathode and they start reduce on the surface of cathode. So what is diffusion current? The current obtained from the diffusion of electroactive species to the mercury drop surface. The analyte of our interest, the ions of our interest are electroactive species. When they reach on the mercury drop surface, they start to reduce. So this is our diffusion current, which is from this point to this point. Okay, the current obtained due to actual diffusion of electroreducible ion from the bulk of sample to the surface of the mercury droplet due to concentration gradient. And because of concentration gradient and diffusion, actual diffusion of our electroactive species, they will cross the double layer also. So they will cross the double layer also, and they will reach on the surface of mercury drop and they will reduce there. Various factors can be affected by diffusion currents. Also the electroactive species is also very important in terms of diffusion current, and we want this current in our experiments. And now the question is how we identify what type of analyte we have in our sample. So from the graph, start from here to here, the diffusion current, the half of diffusion current, this point is known as half wave potential, the half. So from this point to this point, this diffusion current, actually the half of diffusion current is half wave potential, and every analyte have a specific or fixed half wave potential. And if any analyte, any ion, suppose sodium, potassium, or anything, have 7 point here. So if we have 7 in our graph, we will say this is this analyte. So this is a fixed chart, that half wave potential of sodium is this, half wave potential of negative ions is this. So we will know what type of analyte we have in our sample. So from half wave potential we will identify the substance. So it is also very important. So first of all we have residual current, which is from impurities and because of double layer. Then we have diffusion current because of actual diffusion and because of concentration gradient of our analyte of interest, and they will reduce on the surface of mercury drop. And then this current will become saturated, and this is called limiting current, because the number of diffusion of ion is equal to number of reduction. Now how you will identify, you will know the concentration, because you identify the substance through half-wave potential. Now the question is how you determine the concentration. So the concentration is calculated through Alcovic equation. So this is also a scientist who discovered this equation, and so this equation is ID 607 and D half Cm2 by 3 T1 by 6. So ID is the average diffusion current in microampere during the life of drop. So you will calculate ID from the graph. It is very easy. Then N is the number of Faraday of electricity required per mole of the electron reaction. So this is constant. D is the diffusion coefficient of the electroactive substance expressed as centimeter square per second. It is also constant. C is the concentration of electroactive material millimole per liter. So this you have to find out. So M is the rate of flow of mercury from the dm expressed in milligram per second. So this is also constant. T is drop time in seconds. So it is also constant. So from this diagram you can say that ID is directly proportional to concentration. So if you know the ID diffusion current from the graph, so this current is actually directly proportional to the concentration. So then you will determine the concentration of your analyte through ID. So it is simple. Half-wave potential, you will know which substance is present, and for concentration, diffusion current, describe you what type of diffusion will ID, which is diffusion current, is directly proportional to the concentration. So it will tell you about concentration of the electroactive material millimole per liter. Half-wave potential for identification, diffusion current for concentration. So these both are directly proportional. So now what are benefits and limitation of using mercury electrode? So some are already described in my previous slide, so you will see now. So what are benefit? As the mercury capillary is very narrow, so able to analyze very small volume of analyte. You can even in minute amount you can analyze, and then surface of electrode is very reproducible, okay, because mercury is coming from the reservoir and all the drops are of same nature with same physical and chemical properties. Surface area of electrode can be calculated from the weight of drop. So you can calculate the surface area through the weight of drop. Many metal ion can be reversibly reduced into it. This we already discussed. So it displays a wide negative potential. So it has a wide potential. So what is the potential? Plus 0.4 to minus 2. It is not a, you can say minus. It is plus 0.42. This minus is not minus. It is 2 minus 2. So this is the range of negative potential. So many metals are reduced on under in this range, and there are also some metals which are not reduced. So this is also a limitation. But you have to use only mercury for polarography. This is very important. And capillary is very small, so easily can be blocked. So you have to be very careful while using mercury. So it must be pure, it must be without any impurities. So advantage is simple sample handling. You need only mercury and your sample you will dip in, and so it is very simple. Speed of analysis, so it is within few seconds. So for one drop you need only few seconds. High sensitivity, comparable, better accuracy. So it is very sensitive, okay. You can use it for small amount of your sample. Cheaper instrument and lower cost of chemical use. You will only use mercury as your reservoir, and you can say as your cathode and also your anode. And you will not use any unfriendly organic solvent. So it is also very important. So what are the applications? So you can use it in quantitative and qualitative analysis, okay. You can also identify different substances. You can also identify the concentration of different substances, and it will not have any effect if your solution is turbid or you have some color on your solution. You will also not to separate your sample from your mixture of sample. Okay, inorganic sample can be analyzed, small amount of sample can be, so these are all are advantages in application of polarography. But you have to keep in mind, for polarography you have to use dropping mercury electrode as micro electrode, as which will act as cathode, and your anode is mercury pool or saturated glamour electrode. So you have to use only drop-in mercury electrode as cathode. You have to keep in mind for polarography. You don't have to change it. This is for sure. Okay. You will not have to ask me why we are using mercury. So this is a complete technique developed by the scientists. So we will not use any other you can say metal, iron, element. We will only use mercury as cathode and the dropping mercury electrode. This is very important also for the examination point of view. What type of electrode it is, what type of diagram you have to draw the diagram, and you also have to draw the ideal. So the graph which I show you, which will describe residual current, diffusion current, and limiting current, this is an ideal graph. Okay, you have to search on the internet what type of graphs we will obtain from polarography. You will see there are different types of graph, but this is an ideal graph, that if we have one drop and we have one analyte, we will see residual current, then we have diffusion current, then we have limiting current, and then we have halfway potential, which is half of diffusion current. Then we will identify the compound, and from the diffusion current we will know the concentration. So you have to check and also search on the internet what type of graphs we will obtain from polarography. And I am very thankful to you for your attention. Thank you very much.